Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
I think they're ready for Shabbat.
it sounded like a real Shabbat Shalom to me.
Well, those of you who are used to a different face here, this is not Deb. I got nothing.
This is not Deb.
This is not Deb. I got nothing.
That's all you got? Sorry.
I got no reaction there. Deb is home. She's a little under the weather, but we are blessed here with wonderful friends. And so this is Rob Ross, if you've not met him before. And I am so grateful that very last minute we could get on the phone and ask Rob to come and help out when Deb is not feeling well. And we love when Rob is on the bima, and I love being with you. So thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
And thank God it's Shabbat, TGIS. It is Shabbat, and it is time to step away from our week, whatever that brought to you, and take a moment, take our time. So we take a deep breath in and release. And with this next deep breath in, think about all of those things that may have been stressful or anxiety-provoking or difficult. Think about all of them. Take a deep breath in. And as you release your breath, also try to let them go. Could feel that a little bit. And now with this last breath, we breathe in the sweetness, that special spice that is Shabbat. We breathe in. And release. And as the energy has shifted and we have begun to welcome Shabbat, we turn now to song. And it's really good that it's Rob singing and not me. And so we turn to page 10 for Hine Ma Tov, and we lift our voices together.
Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, 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 shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is.
How good it is to be together.
Amen.
And I said, it's good that Rob is singing. I should have said it's good that Rob is leading.
Thank you.
Because we should all be singing.
Amen.
We turn now to light our Shabbat candles. The reading is found on page 3. It is an honor for me to ask Gary and Sherry Dinner to come forward to lead us in the Shabbat candle lighting and Kiddush. And you'll notice we have a table over on each side. If you would like to also kindle Shabbat lights, please come to the side and do so. Gary, you want to come stand over here? You guys are going to read that. And then light the candles. You can stand over there.
Do it together?
Well, one of you read that, and then one that, and then that.
Okay, well,
And then light the candles. You can stand over there.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat shalom.
The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day for all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagafen, amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zicharon lema'aseh bereshit, Ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu bacharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, Be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Our opening reading is not found in your book. It's called Shabbat is the Place by liturgist Alden Solovey. Shabbat is the place where time and space meet without questioning how the beginning began or how the ending ends. Shabbat is the place where song and silence meet, blessing each other with the gift of rest. Shabbat is the place where dreams and angels meet, yearning together for a world of peace. Shabbat is the place where holiness and eternity meet, praying together for the world to come. We continue page 28, Baruch Hu, we rise in body or spirit.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai, Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Baed Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Baed Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 ya la 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 Ya la 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 la
Do you remember the microphone? Page 31, we read together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 34, the Shema, we sing together.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
Ve'avta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha Vishinantam levanecha, vidibarta bam, vishivtecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshokbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot peinenecha, uktavtam, amazuzot betecha, Uvisharecha leman tiskeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lichiot lachem le'elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 39. Oh, sorry, page 40. Just kidding. Page 40, Micha Mocha, our song of freedom. We are thinking about where we are in the Torah. We're actually in the middle beginning of Leviticus. The Israelites are wandering in the desert and they're a little grumpy right now. And so we're learning a lot about our priestly duties. And why are we learning so much about these duties right now? We need a lot of rules when we're wandering, when we don't know what tomorrow might bring. We need organization, we need systems. But the Micha Mocha is a moment of joy, a moment of just celebration. We've crossed the Red Sea. We're no longer slaves. And so with absolute abandon, the Israelites sang, wow, we're not slaves. We made it to the other side. And that's what this song is about.
Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Yai lai 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 ya la 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 lai lai. Ya lai la lai lai ya lai ya la lai. Yai la lai lai ya la 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'eli b'Adonai. Mi kamocha ne'ta b'kodesh. Nora tehilo do sefele. Nora tehilo do sefele. Malechutecha ra'u v'anecha. Ukei hayam lefni Moshe. Selianu ve'amru. Selianu ve'amru. Adonai yimdo le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimdo le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha ne'ta b'kodesh. Nora tehilo do sepele. Nora tehilo do sepele.
Page 42. Hashkivenu literally means let us be laid down, lay us down, God, and raise us up in the morning with shalom and be our guard. Hashkivenu is an evening lullaby. It was probably one of the oldest, it is, I think, one of the oldest extant prayers in our prayer book, probably written around 800 and still here today because nighttime was pretty scary. We didn't have electricity way back when. And so when the lights went out, when the sun went down, we needed prayer to give us protection. And so today, even when there are lights, we still offer a lullaby. We still offer a prayer for protection. We sing together.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha.
I don't want to speak, there's like a spell. Page 44, Vishamru. There's a I want to say billion, but that's not a fact, it's just an opinion, industry for self-care. And yet I think that self-care existed in the Torah because it says we should rest because God rested. It's part of our covenant. And all the more so, if God took a day off, shouldn't we listen and do the same? Self-care. And Vishamru says that part of our covenant is to keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. One of the reasons that we keep Shabbat is we are B'Tselem Elohim, we are made in the image of God, and so we rest because God rested. The ultimate of self-care. And the last word in Vishamru is Vayinafash, was refreshed. So may this Shabbat be for all of us, time to be refreshed.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein B'nai Yisrael, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et haaretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashviyi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. I thought I was taking over the service there.
I was going to let you,
going to
but
lock the door.
I was going to let you, but then, I might miss you, so I came back.
And I would really miss you. Tonight's Devar will be on. Where's the rabbi?
There's actually a great story about the rabbi leaving the bima, but I won't tell you it tonight. We're on.
Please don't.
We're on page 46 for the tefillah. The tefillah is the center of our service in which we refocus ourselves on page 46, and then we remember our forefathers and foremothers, and we stand on their shoulders. They're the reason we're here. That prayer is on Avot V'Imahot is on page 48. Page 50 is the Givurot is a prayer about God's greatness. Page 52 is another connection to Shabbat. And we're going to chant straight through. Please rise in body or in spirit on page 46.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agite hilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor ve'Anora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bechonei HaKol, Vezocher Chazdei Avot ve'Imaot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nechem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol atah Rav Lehoshia, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Zomek Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umechaye Emunato, Lishene Afar, Mikamocha Bal Kivurot, Umido Melach, Melech Meimit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'neiman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom lehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 60, Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav, the word Shalom, obviously we know means peace. Rav means great. And so as we sing Shalom Rav, we think about all of those who are in need of a great peace, particularly thinking about those in Ukraine who continue to sustain the ravages of war. We sing together.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki ata Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Ata Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, tasim leolam, tasim leolam, tasim leolam.
The word shalom also means wholeness, comes from the word complete. And we think of those who are feeling incomplete this evening, those who are in need of a prayer for healing. The prayer for healing can be found in the middle of page 253 if you need the words. And there are so many whom we love who are in need of healing, whether it be a healing of physical body, a healing of spirit, a healing from mental illness, a healing from life's struggles. And so if you are at home this evening, I invite you to lift up in the chat the names of those whom you love who are in need of healing on this Shabbat. And here in the sanctuary, as my hand passes over those of us here, I hope that you'll share aloud the names of loved ones. We add in our own heart, we add to those that have let me start that again. We add to the names that have been shared out loud, those that still remain in our hearts. And we know that when we share prayer together, that they feel our strength added to them. And we share our prayer for healing together.
Sheberach avotenu bekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Visheberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
As we prepare for silent prayer, I want to bring you a poem from one of my favorite poets. As I was driving around this week, I noticed that all of a sudden it's spring. Everything has bloomed and it is quite beautiful. And one of my favorite poets is Mary Oliver, who dug into nature for her inspiration. And so as we move into silent prayer, I share this poem. It's called Yes, No. How necessary it is to have opinions. I think the spotted trout lilies are satisfied, standing a few inches above the earth. I think serenity is not something you just find in the world, like a plum tree holding up its white petals. The violets along the river are opening their blue faces like small dark lanterns. The green mosses, being so many, are as good as brawny. How important it is to walk along, not in haste but slowly, looking at everything and calling out, yes, no. The swan, for all his pomp, his robes of grass and petals, once only to be allowed to live on the nameless pond. The catbrier is without fault. The water thrushes down among the sloppy rocks are going crazy with happiness. Imagination is better than a sharp instrument. To pay attention, this is our endless and proper work. We take a moment for silent prayer.
May the words of my mouth, and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, oh God, my rock and my redeemer, together, May the words of my mouth, and the meditations of my heart, be acceptable to you, oh God, my rock and my redeemer, together we sing,
I need a little bit of help from you to start me off in my message this evening. What are some of the things that we count in our lives? What? Blessings. I did not hear you. Blessings. I love that. Thank you. I'm just done with the sermon. I'm going to sit down. Perfect. What are some other things that we count? Money. Great. Friends. Beautiful. Time. Amazing. The day until the project is due. I love that, Jacob. Perfect.
from the back of the house.
From the back of the house, from the person who runs our tech. Birthdays. Signatures. How'd you know I was going there, Helen? You just knew. Anything else? Any other ideas? The Omer. How'd you know I was going there? Okay. I'm not, I promise. That's my job, right? So, counting often expresses a hope for the end of something, right? We want to get to the end of something. We want to count to figure out where we're getting to. It's usually maybe a count to figure something out. But counting can be done in many, many ways. And I want to give you some interesting counts to start off with. 1 in 4 cisgender women will have an abortion by the age of 45. And Black women suffer the most in pregnancy-related mortality in the United States. There are 40 deaths per 100,000 live births in the United States, as contrasted to 12.4 deaths per 100,000 live births in the United States. The purposeful limitation on women's bodily autonomy threatens us all. And in particular, almost 70% of people obtaining abortions have an income that is 200% under the federal poverty level. This joins a long history of criminalizing Black, Indigenous, migrant, disabled, queer, and trans people. Those are depressing numbers, very depressing numbers. But I want to contrast it with something, I think it was Sherry, I'm not sure, who said the Omer, right? I want to talk to you about a ritual, something called counting the Omer, that you may or may not know. There are 2 verses in Torah that command us to count from the second day of Passover for 49 days, for 7 weeks. And then on the 50th day, we celebrate Shavuot. We're commanded to get to that day by counting. This is called counting the Omer. Just give you one verse. 7 weeks you shall count for yourself. From the time the sickle is first put to the standing corn, you shall begin to number 7 weeks. And it says you shall count. So we each do this individually. There are 2 reasons we count. One, from Deuteronomy, the quote is, we were in a state of limbo, right? Wandering in the desert, vacillating between, and we were an agrarian people. We were farmers, right? And we didn't know if our crops would succeed. And so counting the days would have been a steadying factor. The other is that there is no date set in Torah for Shavuot. It says you have to count these weeks, and then on the 50th day, you're going to have this day of rest. It doesn't say on the 1st of Tishrei, on the 1st of this, on the second day of this. The only way to get there, to this holiday that is commanded in the Torah, is to count. It has to be exactly 7 weeks after Passover. So we have these 2 reasons to count. Reform Judaism didn't really buy into counting the Omer for many, many years. Why? We're not agrarian anymore. How many of you are actual farmers? I'm not talking about gardening. Many of you love gardening. We're not farmers. And 2, the calendar was codified. So we didn't need the Omer to get to the day. So the Omer became a little less relevant and meaningful. In recent years, counting the Omer has become more popular. It's become more relevant. What can it mean for us now? Interestingly, I have found this idea of counting the Omer much more meaningful, particularly this year. I connected it to the numbers and counting of those women, of the women that are 200% below poverty level who don't have chances. I connected it to the women who I might not know, who are more likely to need an abortion. I connected it to the Black women who are 40 deaths per 100,000 live births. Those numbers and the counting started to be very meaningful. And the interesting thing about counting the Omer is that we count up in the Omer. We don't count down. It's an aspirational count. When reciting the blessing for the Omer, we are to say, this is the X night of the Omer, and we keep going up and up and up. It may seem contradictory to connect this to abortion access. When it comes to reproductive health care and abortion access, we don't have a lot of blessings to count. So why would we be counting our blessings? Why would we be aspirational? Well, not a farmer, for sure not a farmer, not. I resonate with counting as a stabilizing force, as reassuring. To hear the numbers of people collecting signatures, to hear the gratitude of people wanting to sign, to hear the desire of people wanting to volunteer, that is stabilizing and reassuring. It's helpful. I connect too with the feeling of being in the wilderness and the unknown. I connect with that Israelite understanding of not knowing what tomorrow brings. The fear, the feeling of being unprotected. I connect to the numbers. There are a lot of numbers in this campaign. Sometimes it's hard to understand how many signatures do we need to collect? What is the percentage? How does this make sense? But we understand the value of the campaign. We understand that people find this important. So many people find this important that the polls, 59% of Ohio registered voters support a constitutional amendment making abortion a fundamental right. 63.4% of Ohio women and 54.7% of men are in support. This is a Jewish value, access to it is reproductive freedom. The Omer teaches us that the way to arrive at a final destination is through being fully present and counting each day, that the destination is one day at a time and utilizing each day's potential. Rabbi David Zeller said, the way to count the days is by making each day count. So the Omer is now really important to me because we count aspirationally to July, when we will have signed something around 740,000. I'm going to put my sticker not on my talit. 740,000-ish plus signatures. And then to November, when we will codify and vote for women to have access to reproductive freedom. And I hope that counting up, counting the Omer, will inspire you. And if you have not signed the petition, it's here tonight, and I hope that you will. Shabbat Shalom.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועכו ישראל, ואמרו, אמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועכו ישראל. 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 יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועכו ישראל.
We continue with Aleinu. Please rise in body or in spirit as you turn to page 283. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We continue now with our time of remembering. Our memorial meditation is found on page 290. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. This Shabbat we remember in Shloshim, in the first month since their death, Barbara S. Robinson, Ruth Yasowitz. And we remember those whose yahrzeits have come at this season in years past: Ronald H. Barron, Peter Benjamin Morgenstern Claren, Sidney Edward Cohn, Barbara Dobo, Morton R. Dworkin, Carrie G. Falk, Jack Farkas, Louis A. Fox, Linda Freeman, Malvina Friedman, Harry Gershon, Ab Glickman, Stanley M. Goldhammer, Erwin S. Heyman, Benjamin Harris, Sheldon Heimel, Milton Lieberman, Allison S. Leventhal, Leonard Messer, Ben H. Newman, Herbert A. Rosenthal, Robert Singer Rosewater, Saul Sholnick, Leo B. Seidenfeld, James E. Shook, Alfred Cass Schultz, Jesse Halley Sinks, Caroline Skall, Ralph Elliott Stein, Ruth B. Stone, Molly Whites Turner, Eugene Wallens. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn to the words of the mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Please rise in body or spirit. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divra hirute v'amlich malchute, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach leolam almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yit hadar, v'yit haleh, v'yit halal, shemei d'kudusha barechu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, huya aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, amen. Please be seated. It's my pleasure to invite forward Dave Aaron, a member of our Board of Trustees, to offer a few words of greeting and announcements.
Well, greetings, and greetings. There are a few greetings. First, for all of you for showing up. Mr. Ross, for harmonizing words and spirit. Our staff and Rabbi. It's interesting that you mentioned, it says right here that this is suggested wording, but I can create my own. So.
Oh, no.
Move closer. That assumes the people want to hear what I have to say. Okay. Counting is really important if what's counting is worth being counted. And not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. Albert Einstein said that, actually. In a world torn and in pain, lacking wholeness and peace, one thing that this world could use is a little bit of tikkun olam, and every single instance counts. Every single instance counts, and there is no day where it's inappropriate. No day at all. I gotta tell a story. I'm sorry. So we're in the hospital. My wife's just had a procedure. She's recovering in the recovery room. The doctor who has done the procedure is listening to Vicky say how she's doing, and Vicky tells the story about how she had a heart attack in the middle of the night and I had to do CPR. Meanwhile, the doctor is really paying attention to the electronic health record, and he's just getting everything in. And then he just stops. He says, wait a minute. Let's take a moment to recognize what you just said and what a blessing that was. What a Mitch. That counted. Well, any day is good for a mitzvah. May 7th, the 7th day of May, if you're counting, is mitzvah day here, organized. So if you wish to sign up, you can do so in ink back there somewhere or online. In one of my classes on Jewish history, I was teaching about the pogroms in early 20th century. And one of the horrible ones was at Kishinev. And there is a particularly haunting photograph of a number of Torahs that are being prepared for burial because they had been severely damaged in the rioting. And then we see 19 Holocaust scrolls which have not been buried. That's something that really counts. And there's going to be a program of the gathering of all these Holocaust Torah scrolls, of which we have 2. Yes, be in there?
One in there and one for
Okay. And the program will be at Temple Tifereth on April 23rd, 1 to 2:30. Everyone's invited for a little ceremony about the journeys of these Holocaust scrolls. The 75th anniversary of the temple, it is a reality. The celebrations are becoming a reality, so keep your eye out for information. Shalva, a band of 8 musicians with disabilities who have performed on season 6 of The Rising Star in Israel and became superstars, so I am told. It's probably pushing it to say who have united a country and a world in support of inclusion. If we could unite the secular and the ultra-Orthodox, that would be really something. That would be uniting. Sorry. I'm getting carried away. Anyway, they will be performing at the Mimi, Ohio Theater. Tickets are available through the Temple Times at $12 per ticket. A congressional retreat was held at Punderson last weekend, and all congregants who participated had a wonderful time learning, eating, playing games, and enjoying nature. Is that true, Rabbi? Okay, just checking, you know. You gave me the words. What am I going to do? Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Hello.
shalom.
That was quite a performance. Thank you, Dave. I do want to note that if you can't make the Sunday Holocaust Memorial Scroll programming, you want to see our Holocaust scrolls. There, one is in here, is the real tall one, and then if you've not seen our baby scroll, I will show you during our Kiddush. It's actually out in the lobby in the glass case. It is 9 inches tall, and it is quite a special scroll. We have a closing song.
We do.
It's Adon Olam on page 321. Let's sing.
Let's sing. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra V'et Nasa V'Retzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kitvot HaKol Levado Yimlok Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Ove Ve'hu Yeh B'Tifara Ve'hu Echad Ve'ein Sheni Lehamshilo Lehachbira Ve'li Reshit Ve'li Tachlit Elo ha'os ve'hamizrah ve'hu eli ve'chai go'ali ve'tzur chevi ve'tzara ve'niunesi ve'manos li ve'nat kosi ve'yom ekra ve'achado sifti ruchi ve'tishan ve'aira ve'im ruchi Geviati Adonai li velo ira.
Our closing benediction immediately followed by Motzi.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the light of God's presence shine upon each of us and be gracious to us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha. Ve'asem lecha shalom, ve'asem lecha shalom.
May God lift up each one of us, and may God bring us shalom, peace, and wholeness.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
B'tei Avon, everyone, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
There's challah in the